Hey YouTube, how y'all doing out there? Today I want to do my comparison between the Note 20 Ultra and the LG V60. Now, let me say this right from the beginning. This is just a comparison. These are based on my opinion. Everybody have their own opinion when it comes to smartphones. Some of you already out there are going to say the Samsung Note 20 Ultra is better than the LG V60. There are some of you out there that's going to say the LG V60 is better than the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Everybody has their own opinion for various reasons, and that's fine. This is just a comparison. Doesn't mean I'm 100% right. This is just my comparison and my opinion based on the fact that I have both devices and I've used both devices extensively. Okay? All right. And this is just meant to just be fun. And, like I said, it's just a comparison. Like when you're going out there shopping for smartphones, you want to get the right smartphone that's right for you. It ain't about other people. It's about what's right for you, what things you need, what things you don't need, what's important to you, what's not that important to you. So I'm here to help those people. All right. All right, let's get started. Now, both of these phones were released in 2020. Now, sometime when I make comparison, I may compare something from the previous year and something from the year before that. And, for some reason, some people get offended. Oh, that's not a fair comparison. You did that. They didn't come out the same year. It's just a comparison. I don't know why people get so emotional over a smartphone. I really don't. Just because they may not agree with my format, they get all emotional and want to come down in the comments and got so much to say. Look, it's just a comparison. Just get over it, okay? It doesn't matter. It's if it's year to year or the same year the year before. It's just a comparison, and they're just smartphones. All right, next thing. Both are fully unlocked for all carriers. That's a great thing because, unfortunately, I have some devices that I have no data for. I can make calls and I can receive calls and, send texts and receive texts. But when I leave my Wi-Fi at home, I can't use the data. So it's unfortunate. So when you pick a smartphone, unless you live outside the country where you'll have probably some more options, got to make sure it works on your carriers. And it's your responsibility to check. It's not mine to check for you. It's your responsibility to check with your carriers and find out if the device will work on your phone. But you don't have to worry about with these. They're both unlocked for all carriers. Next, both phones are flagship devices. So top tier on both devices is the best of the best of this particular company. The best of Samsung at the time and the best of LG at the time. Now, unfortunately, LG smartphone division is shut down. They no longer make any more smartphones, but they promise to support this device up to Android 13. All right, first thing, let's talk about the prices. Now, you're going to end up paying anywhere between $700 to $1,200 for this device right now. And it's going to depend on how you get it. Pre-owned, it's going to be a lot cheaper, around the 700 mark, a little over. You got open box, going to be more money. Renewed's going to be more. And of course, brand new, you're going to pay close to the full price for the device. Now, I'm not saying you are going to pay full price, but you're going to pay close. You're going to pay anywhere between $900 to at least $1,000 if you get it brand new. And I'm talking off eBay. eBay, you got a lot more options when it comes to buying smartphones than Amazon. Now, Amazon has the better customer service, but when it comes to options, you're going to get way more options on eBay. Because like I said, pre-owned, open box, renewed, brand new, it's like 4 different categories. So go on there, check, read the description, and you'll find out what shape the phone is in. Okay? So all you got to do. That's why I can do what I do, because I do my research. And everybody out there, if you're going out there shopping for a smartphone, you need to do your own research. Don't just rely on me or rely on other reviewers. Do your own research, because sometimes we make mistakes and we give you information that's not 100% accurate. And that's only because we're human. We're going to make mistakes. But like I said, when I do videos, when I, get ready to do a review on something, I do my homework the best I can. I watch a lot of reviews. I go on, different websites, checking out all the specs, I'm doing as much research as possible so I can give you the best accurate information I can give you. All right, so let's continue now with the LGV60. Now, brand new, I've seen it for $399, which I still think is an excellent price, but you can literally get this phone refurbished for under $300. And I'm talking about I've seen it for like $279. So that is, that is a mind-blowing price for a flagship device that's only a little over a year, like a year and a half old. Like it came out in 2020 when we just in the beginning of 2022. So it's just a little over a year old. So that's a phenomenal price for a flagship device. $279, and that's for refurbished. Brand new, you'll pay about $400, but that's still good. You may even pay $350 for brand new. You just got to check around. All right. So the prices, when it comes down to price, you're gonna get, you're gonna pay a lot less money for the LGV60. Next, let's talk about design. Now, this is always gonna be subjective. Which phone has the better design? Now, for me, I would go with the Note 20 Ultra. I just like the frosted back. I love the color, and I love the way the camera is set up. However, I do like the LG V60 too. It reminds me of the S10. But for me, aesthetically, I would definitely go for the Note 20 Ultra when it comes to aesthetics. But that's my personal opinion. And that's my personal choice. But you may feel differently, and that's okay. So the better design for me is the Note 20 Ultra. But they both have very nice designs. Next, let's talk about build quality. Now, the Note 20 Ultra comes with Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and the back. And the LG V60 comes with also Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, Gorilla Glass 6 on the back, but it comes with a military-grade drop certification. So when it comes to durability, you got to go with the LG V60. Military-grade drop protection certified. So this thing is going to hold up better with drops if you decide not to use a case on this device. All right. Next, let's talk about button placement. Now, they both handle button placement differently on these devices. Now, we'll start with the Note 20 Ultra. You have everything on the right side. Your power button right here, your volume rockers here, nothing on the left. And what I'll say too about the Note 20 Ultra is that very, very easily to get to the power button. You don't really have to stretch your thumb at all. You hold the phone. This is the way I hold my phone. And it's very easy to get to the power button. I don't have to stretch my thumb at all. However, with the LG V60, now depends on you. You got the power button on the right, and it's kind of high. It should be right here where my thumb is at, but you do have to stretch a little bit to get to the power button on the V60, at least for me, because I don't have really long fingers. Now, for those of you that have long fingers, it's not going to be an issue for you at all. All right. And also, if that's a problem, if you have, short fingers like I do, and it's a pain in the behind trying to reach for that, remember, you can always double tap to sleep the screen. So that's always an option. So you don't even have to worry about repositioning your hand, stretching to get to the power button. Now, over here, you have a dedicated Google button. Okay. And you have your volume rockers up and down. Now, there is a lot of people that prefer the volume rockers on the left as opposed to everything being on the right. For me, I like everything being on the right only because I'm right-handed. I don't want anything over here. I just want everything on the right, and I'm good. Now, I did mention this dedicated Google button. Now, the Note 20 Ultra kind of has a dedicated Google button, but it's not a dedicated Google button. Basically, you can go into the settings and you could use your power button. Now, it's called the side key, but it's really the power button. And you could basically double tap it and basically open up any app that you want. So this is way more versatile than that of the LG V60 because this is only a dedicated Google button. You can only use Google, open up Google. With the side key, which is the power button, you can open up any app. So I like that a lot better. So when it comes to button placement, I prefer the button placement on the Note 20 Ultra. All right, next, let's talk about the always-on display. Now, as you can see, both have an always-on display. However, they do, use it just a little bit differently. Samsung are like, they're my favorite always on displays because you can see how big everything is, easy to see. You got the time, the date, the day, your notifications underneath, and they're colored, so you could pretty much see what they are. I got 2 Facebook notifications, a YouTube notifications, and these I'm not sure what they are, but you could always see the fingerprint sensor. You could also see the battery percentage. I like that. And with the LG, of course, I got a picture of here. Me and my wife, you got the time, the date, the day, battery percentage, but it's pretty small. As you can see, Samsung's, it's a lot bigger, a little easier to see. And then, of course, you cannot see the fingerprint sensor. And I like being able to see where it's at, so I don't have to guess where it's at and miss it. So I prefer the always on display on the Samsung. Also, when you double tap the lock screen, you get all these different widgets, access to other things. Now, LG has something a little similar, but it's just done very, very differently. You double tap, and let me see. Wait a minute. Sorry, it's not that. So you double tap. No, it's not that. Sorry, I don't really use this thing that much. Okay, when it comes up, okay. So now I slide over. Okay. So see here, you slide over. You can control your media. And you get these other toggles to other things. So it's somewhat like the Note 20 Ultra with the widgets, but it's just implemented a little differently. But it just looks nicer on the Samsung for me. All right. Next, let's talk about Face Unlock. Only the Note 20 Ultra has Face Unlock. For some weird reason, LG decided not to put Face Unlock on the LGV60. Now, there's some people out there, oh, Face Lock don't matter. It's not that secure. It's not about being secure. I don't want Face Unlock because it's secure. I like it because it's a convenience and it's another biometric way for me to open up my device. And a Face Unlock should be on a premium flagship device. That's the point. Okay, whether you use it or not, or whether you think it's important or not, it's not the point. The point is, this is a premium flagship device and it should come with Face Unlock. You have $150 phones that have Face Unlock. So there's no reason for this not to have it. Now, if you decide not to use it, that's your prerogative. But don't act like other people don't care about having Face Unlock, because there's a lot of people out there that do want Face Unlock. I know I do. I want the option. Just like with the Note, I miss the iris sensor. I miss being able to open up my phone with my eyes, like 3 different ways. My eyes, my finger, and my face. And there was a time when you could use your voice to open up the device. I love having all those different ways to open up a device. So it matters to me. So if it don't matter to you, that's cool. Like I said, that's you. But you can't speak for other people. Next, let's talk about the displays. Now, this is my favorite part of any smartphone, is the display. Now, I must say, both of these devices have great displays. Samsung, you got the 6.9-inch Quad HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED display with 495 pixels per square inch, 6.9 inches, and you're getting 120 hertz refresh rate. This display is absolutely beautiful. And with the LG V60, you have a 6.8-inch 1080p Full HD Plus POLED display with a pixel density of 395. And I forgot to mention 91% screen-to-body ratio on the Note 20 Ultra and 83% screen-to-body ratio on the LG V60. No high refresh rate. Now, that's not a big deal, and it's not going to be a big deal to a lot of people. What I will say about this device, it is very, very smooth. I mean, really, it's so smooth that it really feels like it has 120 hertz refresh rate on, honestly. Seriously, I'm being honest. So, which one has the best display? I'm going to say it's even. Now, LG's display is much brighter, and it could get even brighter than this. It has a setting where you can make it even more brighter. So it definitely gets brighter than the Note 20 Ultra, and I have both of these at 100% brightness. but this definitely can get brighter. And it got so much brighter when I used the extra brightness that it hurt my eyes. So not the case for the Note 20 Ultra. Now, most people aren't going to have their phone at 100% brightness like me. I guess I'm just a nut like that. I just like my phone super bright. Most people got their phone so dim, I don't even know how they can see it. But, to each his own. Sometimes, bright lights hurt people's eyes. They have a sensitivity to brightness. So it just depends on you. But I like it super bright, and LGV60 definitely does get brighter. Also, now I do like the Note 20 Ultra's display better because you have thinner bezels at the top, all around the sides. They're almost non-existent. And you have the really small camera cutout up there, which I absolutely love. It's very small, non-intrusive to me. Now, with the LGV60, you have thicker bezels around the side and the bottom and the top. And also, you have this...
We're different.
Sorry about that. You have this hideous, ugly little notch up here. I don't know why they did this. It really looks... I really hate this thing. It should have just went straight across, and they should have hid the camera underneath the bezel at the top instead of doing this. This is terrible. I hate that. And the only way I could get rid of it is on the home screen. That's it. Everything else I open up, you're going to see that notch. Except, I would say the only exception is YouTube. Everything else, you're going to see that stupid notch. So the display overall, I mean, it's great displays on both because one's POLED, one's AMOLED. They're both great. And I'm basically using 1080p on both because I'm using 120 hertz on the Note 20 Ultra because you can't use Quad HD Plus with the 120 refresh rate. But I would say even when it comes to just the look of the displays, they're even. But overall, I'm going with the Note because thinner bezels and that little teeny camera cutout for the selfie camera at the top. But they both have excellent displays. Next, both phones have IP68 water and dust resistance. Next, let's talk about the processor. Note 20 Ultra, Snapdragon 865 Plus, LGV60, Snapdragon 865. Now, just because this has the plus and this doesn't mean that this one is just way, way more faster than this one. Now, I will say this. The Note 20 Ultra is a tad bit faster than the LGV60, but not to the point where you feel like this is slow. No, not at all. Both are adequately fast. And both, both phones, when it comes to performance, is really great. So Snapdragon 865 Plus, Snapdragon 865, the processors are great in both. Next, let's talk about performance. Now, this is going to be a little strange, but I want you to actually see this. Now, I'm going to be going, in and out of apps really quick. I want you to see the transition and how it looks. Now, I'm not going to let the app open all the way. I just want you to see the transition of the apps. See how it goes in and out of the apps and the smoothness of it. That's what I'm trying to get you to... Sorry, this thing. Shouldn't have went into that one. Just want you to see the smoothness, how smooth this thing is. I mean, look at this thing. It's just smooth. And it's really, really, really fast. So I love the smoothness. This is what I meant. Don't have 120 hertz, but I love the smoothness, the way it goes in and out of apps. Now, this has the 120 hertz refresh rate. Not saying it's slow, but it's just a little bit different. I'm not saying it, it doesn't have nice smoothness. Of course it do. But I don't know. For some reason, it just looks a little bit better on the LG. I can't really explain it. I just like the LG just looks a little bit better when it comes to how smooth it looks. So, but when it comes to overall performance, both are great. Both are A+. But I just like the smoothness a little bit better on the LG, how it goes in and out of apps. And that's just, that's just my eyes. Next, both support expandable storage. So if you're the type of person like me that needs an SD card slot and you need an expandable storage, you're going to get it on both. However, the Note 20 Ultra can expand the storage up to 1 terabyte. and the LGV60, you could expand the storage up to 2 terabytes. So if you're a media monster like I am, and I store so many movies and stuff on my phone. Now I'm just going to show you so you don't think I'm just jiving you. Look at all of these movies. All of these movies are stored directly onto the SD card, and I couldn't do that if I didn't have the expandable storage. So that's why I need it. Everybody don't need that much storage. Some people don't need expandable storage at all. That's why, regardless, with these new devices coming out that don't have no expandable storage, they're like, oh, I don't need it, I don't use it anyway. And everybody don't use or need expandable storage. Everybody uses their device differently. But I need expandable storage. That's why I will not buy any of Samsung's newer devices. I will not do it. No, I'm just not going to buy them. That's expandable storage is not something that's hard to put on a device. They had them on their devices for years. I don't care if people say, oh, it's slower than red. It ain't slow to me. I've never had any issues with using an SD card in any of Samsung devices. Now that's not something that I'm just complaining about. I read the comments of a lot of different reviews and videos, and a lot of people are very upset that Samsung removed SD card support from their devices. They're like, I'll come back to Samsung when they put SD card support back on their devices. Now, they may or may not. I don't know. I know I'm not buying any more Samsung devices without SD card support. I'm just not doing it. And I got plenty of devices that support SD card support, so I don't need their newer devices. I'm good. But you'll be happy to know that both of these have expandable storage. However, LG has a terabyte more than the Note 20 Ultra. Next, both come with 128 gigs of internal storage. However, you can get the Note 20 in 256 and 512, but with the LGV60, it only offers 128 and 256 gigs of internal storage. Now, like I said, that's not going to be a big deal to most people. Not the biggest deal to me because I bought the 128 gig variant of the LGV60, and of course, the regular, the base storage model for the Note 20 Ultra was 128, which it shouldn't have been, especially for that price. This was a $1,300 device when it was released. It should have had 256, like the Note 10 Plus before it. Now, I don't know why they reduced the internal storage, but Samsung, in my opinion, all they do is just go backwards, or either they don't go forward at all. The only thing they seem to improve on is the newer processor, a couple of new features here and there, and a slightly improvement on the camera. But they're not making leaps and bounds when it comes to specs like they used to. So I don't know why they did that. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Next, let's talk about the dual screen capability of the LGV60. Now, I can't show you that because I do not own the dual case for this device. Why? Because I don't need it and I just wasn't interested in it, and it just makes the phone way too big and bulky, and I know I'm probably not going to use it, so I did not get it, but that's something the Note 20 Ultra does not have. Excuse me. It does not have dual screen capability. It can multitask. Both can multitask, but with the dual screen case, you have two literally full displays. So when you multitask on that dual screen case, you're not doing it in half like the Note Ultra. You have literally two full displays. So that's going to be really helpful to a lot of people that like to multitask, and people that may not want to multitask, they just like that capability. LGV60 is probably the one you want. That's a cool feature. Maybe one day when the price drops to like maybe the dual case is like 30 or 50 bucks, maybe I might get it. But right now I don't need it, but I had to put that out there because it does have that, and I don't want nobody accusing me of not mentioning that. Oh, what about the dual screen capability? Well, I mentioned it. All right, let's move on. Both devices also have dual stereo speakers, okay? However, the dual stereo speakers on the LGV60 destroys the Note 20 Ultra speakers. They don't even compare. It's like night and day. I was doing an extensive sound test with both, And these speakers on this device are awesome. Great loudness and great fullness of sound, great stereo sound. The Note 20 Ultra speakers are kind of weak to me, honestly. I mean, for an Ultra phone, they should be much, much better. The speakers on my Z Fold 2 are better than the Note 20 Ultra. So that's sad for this phone calling itself an Ultra. To me, the speakers are weak. I mean, they're okay. They're not horrible, but compared to the LGV60, it's like night and day. So LGV60 definitely has superior dual stereo speakers. Next, let's talk about Headphone Jack. Now, as you all know that, you in the tech world, you keep up with this type of thing. The Note 20 Ultra does not have a headphone jack. They stopped putting headphone jacks starting with the Note 10, which I don't know why they did that. There's no need for that. You can put on a budget and a mid-range phone, but you can't put a headphone jack on your premium devices. I don't like that. However, with the LGV60, as you can see there, you have that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which a lot of people absolutely love. And this is a big reason why a lot of people will not give up their Note 9, because they don't want to give up that headphone jack. They feel as though the Note 10 Plus and the Note 20 Ultra are not even upgrades because of that headphone jack. Now, do I agree with that? No. Not just over headphone jack, but it depends on who you are. It depends on what you need on your phone, and it varies from person to person. If that's a make it or break it thing for you, then I completely understand why you don't want to give up your Note 9. I definitely understand that, especially if you have high impedance headphones, or you're just a headphone jack person and you use your headphone for other things other than just listening to music. You may plug in a DJ controller. You may need to plug, you have that input in your car where you need a headphone jack to be able to listen to your, stuff on your phone. So it could be various reasons why you need a headphone jack, and I don't blame you. So, but if you decide to go with LG, you don't have to worry about that. You got a headphone jack. Next, let's talk about the audio. Now, with the Note 20 Ultra, you do have a 32-bit DAC built in here. The music sounds really good. You can really tweak the sound and everything however you want it. It has a built-in equalizer. So you can really make a lot of changes to make it sound the way you want, and it does sound very good. However, with the LGV60, you got a 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC, along with an equalizer and different ways you could tweak the music also. Definitely advantage the LGV60. The music, the sound quality that comes out of this headphone jack from that 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC is amazing. And it kills the Samsung. It just does, to me. Now, you may disagree with that, but I'm just telling you. The sound that comes out of the headphone jack with that 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC is amazing, and I love it, and I'll take the sound of that over the Note any day of the week. Next, let's talk about RAM. So with the Note 20 Ultra, you have 12 gigs of RAM, and with the LGV60, you have 8 gigs of RAM. Now, not a big deal, even though this one has 4 more gigs of RAM, but you're going to be able to hold more apps open in the background. Both have excellent RAM management, but because you have 4 more gigs, you're going to be able to hold more apps open in the background if that's important to you. Some people, that's important. Now, I know that's important to me. It's not a make it or break it. It's not a reason why I would not go with the LGV60 because it have 8 gigs of RAM. 8 gigs of RAM, some computers don't even have 8 gigs of RAM. So you get this and you got 8 gigs of RAM, you'll be fine with it. That's going to be more than enough for you. All right. Not unless you're a heavy gamer, then you may need 12 gigs of RAM. All right. All right, next. Let's talk about the in-display fingerprint sensor. So both of them have an in-display fingerprint sensor. However, the Note 20 Ultra has an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, and the LGV60 has an optical fingerprint sensor. Now, both are pretty good. They're not perfect. They're not the best, but they both work pretty well. They both work pretty well. Only thing about the Note, you don't have any haptic feedback, no real animation, but it works. It's okay. It's not 100% accurate, but it works. With the LG, you can change the different, animations. It does have an animation, does have haptic feedback. Double tap this. I should have did that. It's a lot easier. and they both work really well. Only thing about the Note, like I said, when the screen is off, you always know what a fingerprint sensor is, as opposed to the LGV60. You can have it lift the wake where you will see the fingerprint sensor, or you could just double tap and see it and then push it. So it's up to you. But both fingerprint sensors are really good. I don't have an issue, even though the fingerprint sensor on here is set a lot lower than that of the Note 20 Ultra. Let me just show you again really quick. See how high the Note 20 Ultra is, and see how low the LG is. So I like the fingerprint sensor placement of the Note better. I don't like it. I don't like the LGs being this low, but you'll get used to it. Next, both have FM radio built in. Next, let's talk about mobile payments. So with the Note 20 Ultra, you have Samsung Pay. And with the LGV60, you have LG Pay. Now, how good is LG Pay and how accepted it is everywhere, I don't know. But it does have it. Or you could just use Google Pay. It's up to you. Next, let's talk about the battery. So with the Note 20 Ultra, you have a 4,500 milliamp battery. With the LGV60, you have a 5,000 milliamp battery. Now, which battery gets you better battery life? It ain't no contest. It's easy. It's the LGV60. It is not even close. It's not even a contest. It's not even really worth talking about. No question about it. I'm getting 2 full days, and I'm talking 100% brightness. I'm talking about using everything at max on this phone, and I'm getting 2 full days. Now, my average day for me is anywhere between 17 and a half to 18-hour days. Those are my days. And I can get 2 days. So you're talking close to 40 hours of battery use out of this device. And the standby time is way, way better on here than it is on the Samsung. It's not even close. Better overall battery life is on the LGV60. So if you're a prep person that you want battery life that's beast mode status and you ain't got to worry about looking at the battery all day and worrying about having battery anxiety, you're not going to have no battery anxiety on the LGV60. Now, the Note 20 Ultra will get you through a full day, but you're not getting a day and a half to 2 days. No, it's not happening. Not unless you're a really light user. You're not using the always on display. You got your brightness around 50%. You're not getting a ton of notifications and stuff like that, which I get every day, at least 500 to 600 notifications and tons of emails. So I'm a heavy user. But if you're using a phone like I'm using it, and you're not gaming and all that stuff, and not using the video and taking a bunch of photos, you'll definitely easily get through a full day. You may get into the next day, but you're not getting 2 days out of this device. If you are, y'all can let me know down in the comments, but this is not a 2-day phone. Samsung doesn't advertise this as a 2-day phone. But this one, definitely 2 days on average, no problems. Next, let's talk about battery charging speeds. Now, with the Note 20 Ultra, you're getting 25-watt fast charging. And with the LGV60, you're only getting quick charge 4.0, which is pretty sad. I was really surprised that LG put such low wattage on their battery charging on this device. That's pretty disappointing, especially because this phone, it has a 5,000 milliamp battery. So from 0 to 100, you're looking at an hour and 42 minutes. With the Samsung, you're looking at an hour and 5 minutes, hour and 10 minutes max. I would say more like an hour and 5 minutes. This charges pretty quickly, 25 watts. So when it comes to battery charging speeds wired, you got to go with the Samsung on that. Next, let's talk about wireless charging. Both have wireless charging. Samsung has 15-watt fast wireless charging. The LGV60 has 12-watt wireless charging. Now, which one has the best? It's Samsung, but it ain't by much. 2 hours, 42 minutes to fully charge. This is 3 hours and 27 minutes, or 3 hours and 20 minutes to fully charge from 0 to 100. So they're both slow compared to the competition out there. But Samsung does charge faster. Next, let's talk about reverse wireless charging. Now, the Samsung has, otherwise known as PowerShare. Samsung has 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging. There's no reverse wireless charging on the LG V60. Most of you probably don't even care about something like that because you're probably feel like you're probably not going to even use it. However, for me, I've actually used the power share on the Note 20 Ultra when I needed to get some juice into my watch. I forgot to charge it. I went out somewhere. I wasn't able. It was about to die on me. Turned on power share, put the watch on back of it for 30 minutes, and I got about 35% charge, and that was able to last me until I got back home. So you just never know when something like that may come in handy for you, or if you're out with somebody, their battery's about to die, they don't have no way to charge their phone, and you could just take their phone and put it on the back of your phone and give them a little bit of charge so their phone won't power off. I like that, having that convenience, but that's not going to be important to everybody. So just to let you know, LGV60 don't have that, doesn't have that feature. Next, let's talk about Android skins. Now, the Samsung Note 20 Ultra uses One UI 4.0, and LG, they use their own skin. Both of these devices are highly customizable. Both these phones have a ton of features. However, I feel as though, just based on my experience, the Note 20 Ultra has way more features and is even more customizable than that of the LGV60. But if you're not a person that, you don't need 100 or 200 and 300 different features, and you want to just a little bit more simple, then you want to go with the LGV60. For me, I love tons and tons and tons of features, whether I use them or not. I just like them on there. So if one day I decide I want to use them, I could use them. It's already on the phone. I could utilize it if I wish. So I like having that option to have all those features already built in. But I do use the majority of them, I will say that. But both are highly customizable and both have really good features in both. But if I had to pick which UI I like the best, it would be One UI. Plus, when you're using One UI, you can bring everything down close to you. That's why it's called One UI. It's very one-handed friendly. Next, both devices will receive Android 13. Now, LG has always been slow with software updates, and of course, it's going to be even slower now that their smartphone division is shut down. But I don't know if anybody out there has gotten Android 12 as yet, but LG promised all the way up to Android 13. So, and I know that the Note is going to get Android 13 next year. So both of these phones are supposed to get Android 13. So if you're worrying about your phone being outdated, don't worry about it. It is not going to be outdated, but you might be waiting a while to get Android 12 and 13 on the V60. All right, next let's talk about the cameras. Now, for some people, this is a real big sticking point. As you can see, you got your 3 cameras on the back of your Note with your laser autofocus. And with your LGV60, you got your 3 cameras back underneath here with your laser, your flash. Now, let me say this, and everybody's opinion is going to vary because everybody sees things differently. Both cameras on both these phones are really great. The photos and videos are great on both devices, okay? Now, for me, which one I think is a little bit better, I would have to go with the Note 20 Ultra. For me, it's about consistency. Like, every time I take a picture with this phone, it looks great. Honestly, it really does. So for me, is more versatility, more shooting modes, and more consistent. For me, I absolutely love the camera quality and the video quality of this device. Now, I'll leave a little card up in the corner. You can check out my photos because I did a full review on this phone not that long ago. And of course, a while ago, I did a full review on the LG V60. I'll leave that card up in the corner also so you can check it out for yourself. But both of these phones take excellent, excellent pictures. Now, when it comes to the Note 20 Ultra, you're getting 108 megapixel wide with laser autofocus, with optical image stabilization, also 12 megapixel periscope telephoto lens with optical image stabilization and 5 times optical zoom and 50 times hybrid zoom. You're also getting a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Now with the rear cameras, they shoot at 8K at 24 frames per second, 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second, and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. When it comes to the front selfie camera, shoots at 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. When it comes to the LGV60, you get a 64 megapixel standard lens with optical image stabilization, a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and a 3 megapixel time of flight sensor. So with the rear camera, you're not getting a wide like you do. You get basically two wides on the Note 20 Ultra. You're getting 108 megapixel wide, and you got that ultra wide. But with the LG, you're just getting a 64 megapixel standard and just one ultra wide with the 13 megapixel. And then you're getting a 3 megapixel type time of flight sensor, which most people are not going to use. Okay. Now, when it comes to video, you can shoot at 8K at 30 frames per second. Now, that's a big leg up on the LGV60 because with the Note 20 Ultra, you can only shoot at 8K and 24 frames per second. So with 30 frames per second, you're going to get more stabilization and you're going to get a smoother video experience when it comes to 8K recording. Now, you also can shoot at 4K at 30 and 60 and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. When it comes to the front-facing camera, you got a 10 megapixel standard lens. Now, both have 10 megapixel front-facing cameras. However, this is a standard lens, so no wide angle on the selfie camera. Samsung does have wide angle, so you can take group selfies. You can't do that with the LG. I don't know why they didn't put a wide angle on this front-facing camera. I don't know. But you can shoot at 4K at 30 and 60 and also 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. Now, let me show you just really quick the shooting modes. This is why I said you got a lot more versatility. So you got single take. When you go into more, you got AR Doodle, Bixby Vision, AR Zone, Pro Mode, Panorama, Food, Night, Portrait Video, Pro Video, Super Slow Motion, Hyperlapse, and Dual Recording. So you get a lot of functionality and versatility with the Samsung camera. Now, that's not to say that the LG camera is some kind of joke and is lagging behind. No, this is definitely has a great camera. I don't know why I'm in here. All right. So here you got time lapse. You got portrait mode, stickers. With more, you got night view, panorama, manual camera, which is a pro mode, manual video. Now, this is what I use. Now, what I'm using now is the LG Wing to do this video, and I'm always using manual mode. Manual mode is amazing. I mean, really, it is amazing. I love manual mode. Of course, you got slow mode, YouTube Live. You got cinematic shot, 360 panorama, and AR stickers. So you got some nice modes on both of these, but you're going to get more modes on the Samsung. You're going to get more versatility and more functionality on your Samsung. Now, but like I said, LG can definitely hold its own when it comes to photo quality and video quality. Not a problem at all. Definitely holds its own. All right. Now, like I said, when it comes down to the camera, I prefer the cameras on the Note 20 Ultra. Now, the last thing we're talking about is pen support. Both support pen support. However, with the Note 20 Ultra, the pen is integrated into the body of the device, and the LGV60 is not. I've never used a pen on this device. I'm sure it works well. It has probably good functionality, but it's still not the S Pen. The S Pen has air actions and Bluetooth capabilities. It could just do so many things that I'm pretty sure that the pen for this, the LG can't do. Now, I'm not saying that the LG's pen is crap. No, I'm not saying that. But the S Pen stands alone as the best type of, thing that's inserted into the phone that comes out and use it. You could just do so many things with the S Pen. It's just ridiculous. So, but both have pen support. So that's basically my comparison between the Note 20 Ultra and the LG V60. I love both of these devices. I really do. They're both great. That's why I have both. But when it comes to overall, which one I would pick overall, I got to go with Samsung only because I enjoy One UI better. I love the boxy shape of the Note. Of course, the S Pen, the wideness of the display, and One UI. I need One UI because I need secure folder. I need the Note app in here. There's a lot of things that I need. So I prefer it mainly because of One UI. But I love this device because it has better speakers, better audio, better battery life, more storage. This phone is an absolute beat, and the display gets brighter. And you got the headphone jack. So they both have their, things about it that makes them great. And they're both great devices. That's why I have the best of both. The best of both worlds. That's why I grab both, because I want that headphone jack. I want better battery life. I want better audio. I want better stereo speakers. So depending on what my flavor is and what I want, I have the option. Now, everybody don't have that option, but I have to tell you, you have to get what works for you and what you need. When it comes to if you're trying to save money, you got to go with the LGV60. Like I said, you can get it for less than $300. With the Note 20 Ultra, you're going to pay anywhere between $700 to $1,100 for this device. So you may want to just go with the LGV60 if you're trying to save money. And think about it. Flagship device, less than $300. This is a flagship device. You ain't paying nowhere near that. This phone probably won't get down to $300 something probably for the next 2 years before the price gets that low. So if you're trying to save money, go with the LGV60. But if you want Samsung's top thing, you want the last Note. Now I know the S22 Ultra is supposed to be the Note, but it's not called the Note. And to me, it should be, honestly, because you can have the S22 and S22 Plus, but why not just name that the Note 22 Ultra? Like, I don't know. But anyway, this is the last device that's actually called a Note. So if you're a Note fan, you definitely want to get this. But if you want to wait till that price gets a lot lower, then just wait, because it's going to keep dropping. I promise you that. It's going to be a lot lower than what it is now, eventually. All right, so thank you for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well. And once again, I did not mention everything that both of these devices can do. They can do a whole lot more, but I was just really trying to go over the most important and the most basic things to talk about to do the comparison. So I appreciate your time, and I hope you all was able to make it through this whole video. All right, y'all take care, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.